Osamu Tezuka, the man regarded as the father of manga, who is most well known for creating notorious works such as... But I know that he can rest in peace knowing that his legacy lives on through the great anime of modern times, such as High School of the Dead, the manga that had its second volume beat out the likes of Naruto at the time, making this anime one of the now big four. This video is my 20,000 subscriber special, so thank you all for paying the rent. As always, it's up to me to change the name of this anime to something a bit more realistic. Limitless Recoil, Fan Service vs. Zombies, and finally, The Walking Dead on a different website. If you're glad that you finally get to watch, let me give you a satire synopsis of this anime, which will contain spoilers. Content warning.
Grown-ups only.
To start this anime, you first have to choose if you want to watch it in sub or dub. In other words, do you want to hear Japanese or Western moans? We begin with our main character Takashi at school being sad. He's sad because his childhood friend broke a pinky promise to marry him as a kid. While he's having an existential crisis, the zombie outbreak begins. While this may be a problem for kids in Japanese schools, it wouldn't be in America. He has a spare that you could use to kill them. Since Takashi doesn't have that luxury, he runs to his childhood friend Rei to protect her. But how can he convince her that there's a zombie outbreak? Be gone, fuck!
Warning, hitting women may not result in them listening to you, and may result in many criminal lawsuits, unless you're in Afghanistan.
Well, I have called these zombies. Since it is 2022, it's important to give them the proper name as well as pronoun, which apparently is them. Just them. I guess the term zombie had a patent on it. So the dynamic trio of Takashi, Rei, and Friend 3 try to find somewhere safe in the school. I am beginning to see a small problem with this team. Friend 3 is dating Rei, which would ruin some fan service. Oh no, he's been bitten and killed. Rei, American, Nurse, and Sword. But if you want their more realistic names, it's Booba 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They form a team to go out and find their families. Then the Promised Neverland Season 2. A magical flying flaming bus comes out of nowhere, separating the team, who agree to meet up later. After feeding their pet zombies, they're eventually reunited, and together they make it to the nurse's friend's house, which conveniently has the entire arsenal of the Russian military. They also adopt a tactical support child because Mother Teresa over here just couldn't help himself. On one of their trips, they run into a problem, which could have been solved if they would stop sitting on top of the Humvee. After getting backed into a corner, Takashi must use his secret weapon, Extra Recoil Shot, with maximum precision. Oh, I love garbage animes. Takashi and Psycho separate from the group to distract the thems, resulting in Group A being saved by Pinky's mom.
Where are you going?
Home.
Where's home?
The White House?
Now that our two groups are separated, Takashi says out with the old and in with the new, bonding with fan service number 2. What's so funny? She then reveals her past and that she's actually a sadist with a sword, making her the only woman who can walk alone at night safely. Don't worry, I still love you for your big personality. When more of them approach the next morning, she's hesitating due to no longer having a will to fight. Takashi, comfort her. Is he groping her to show that he accepts her? That was, with the exception of the cold-hearted American, who has a breakdown from them trying to take away his gosh darn guns. Then this guy shows up again. Kill him! Do it! I am on my knees in the middle of a Walmart. Protected them on accident, because America sent an EMP for no reason. If they shot Japan with a nuke, okay, makes sense. But it's not like the zombies are playing Grand Theft Auto, chasing people with cars. The team is forced to leave the house. But at least we end on a beach episode OVA.
To be continued.
No, it's not. Welcome back to What Your Best Girl Says About You. You don't mind being a rebound, as long as you end up with the girl. You love the type of woman who will just kill you. You somehow made liking boobs into a personality trait, and are desperate to get laid. You either love all tsunderes, or just like being called trash. You just have good taste if you chose this. You imagine your whole future with somebody after seeing them once.
Anime is a prime example of why two nukes
just wasn't enough.
Now, let's talk about the characters in this anime, starting off with Takashi, the person with a personality more dry than conversations at a college party. But Lunar, he's a self-insert character. Yeah, a really bad one. Saeko, the swordsman of the group, because while the rest of the students were having premarital sex, remind you of this fact, just in case you forgot that she can still be fan service. Saeko is also the only person who really benefits from the apocalypse, considering it brings her more happiness to fight than Shao Tucker got from spending time with his daughter. Best girl tier. Who's that tsundere? It's Seiya. It's mine. Come on. Seiya's the girl who says stupid every 2 seconds.
バカだとバカバカバカじゃないの
She's the self-proclaimed genius of the team, who strategizes absolutely nothing. I mean, her whole character arc revolves around her being mad because her parents are just too epic. Contributes nothing tier. You know that one person who makes her whole personality her ex? Yeah, that's Rei. She was held back in school a year despite having straight A's because of Shido. This separated her from her childhood friend Takashi. Too bad they couldn't separate her from this series. I'm just glad that she's written out of most arcs because the only thing that she's useful for is being a gun stand. Barrel holder tier. The nurse that does no nursing, Shizuka. Because she's the only adult in the group, it's up to her to take care of the kids. Too bad she's just a klutz. I mean, you could probably figure out her whole character. Of course I saved the best character for last. The true embodiment of the quiet kid at school. Truly an all-American patriot. I mean, he even trained overseas for a month. Kota's probably the most useful of the team, being the only one with any knowledge of weapons. Super soldier tier. Time for final thoughts and rating the anime. Sometimes you go back and watch animes that are so old, the subtitles turn yellow, and this is one of those. It was also made in the early 2010 era, meaning that SOT 4, it was basically all a recap. Unlike High School DxD, if somebody looks at me and says, I watch High School of the Dead for the plot, I'm just gonna assume that this is the plot that they're talking about. I mean, there's no real plot besides surviving and finding their families, but half the time, I'm just wondering how do they even get into these situations. I will say, I did drop this anime originally, back when I was 14, since I don't like gore animes, but it is nice to dive into a new genre every now and then, even if that genre has another tag in front of it. When it comes to the characters, it honestly just reminds me of Akame ga Kill, even though it came out first. Most of the characters do have a pretty decent arc, going from being scared to having a willingness to fight. But I would be lying if I said they weren't just all here for fan service. I do have to praise the animation. In particular, the camera angles throughout the fight made it feel so smooth. Not to mention, the perfect use of slow-mo when it came to the gunfights. And as tacky as the bouncing is, they probably spent a lot of time on it. I will note, we also will unfortunately never get a conclusion to High School of the Dead, since the mangaka did pass away. While my anime list gave this anime a score of around 7.1 out of 10, I'll be giving it a score of 7 melons out of 10. In conclusion, to increase your chances of getting laid, you better hope for a zombie apocalypse. News reporter Lunar here. Although I may look like a zombie, I'm just tired. Click here to check out my channel.